Hey guys, this is Aaron Kane back with another custom deck box video. The reason I'm doing this video, it's been about 6 months since the last one, and within that period of time we've actually developed a couple of new products that I'm extremely excited to go ahead and introduce to you guys. The other reason actually is because I've most recently been involved with a couple of strength tests comparing some of our wooden deck boxes to the standard plastic deck boxes that you get from any sort of hobby store. So sit back, enjoy the video, and if you have any questions, feel free to email me or like us on Facebook. Well, I have two new products to introduce today. Now it's important to note with these particular products, you're probably not going to find too many of these products on Etsy or eBay where we sell our products. Most of these are going to probably be more custom order builds. I have to make sure that whatever I actually put online, I'm able to sell at a fairly consistent basis. So if you're interested in any of these products and you don't find what you're looking for online, feel free, of course, to email me what exactly you want. So anyways, this is our first one here. This is called the Palacinka. The Palacinka is what I like to call the inconspicuous deck box. When you actually first look at this, you probably don't even notice it or how it would actually hold cards at all. I actually foresee this sitting on a coffee table or a kitchen table, and maybe you have a plant sitting on it, or you can have your ketchup mustard sitting on your kitchen table, and by that people would of course come through and have no idea that it is stocked full of magic cards. The top of it has a special maple inlay around the outside of it, which really highlights its beauty. This particular one is of course made out of solid walnut, but what's interesting about it is, like with most of my deck boxes, there are hidden designs and hidden drawers and things like that, and it might be tough to see from the video itself, but there's actually 4 separate openings with this deck box. You have little finger recesses here, and as you push you can see that the side of course slides open and it reveals 2 chambers. Those 2 chambers actually will fit 2 75 card decks. Now what also is interesting is that that's not the only chamber. If you rotate it 90 degrees and you pop this one open, you have of course 2 more chambers for deck cards, and this of course goes on 2 more times, and as you of course it flips over 2 more times, you of course have 2 more decks, and you of course have 2 more decks of cards that fit here. This is an 8 deck box, but it doesn't look like a deck box, which is of course what makes it so unique and impressive. This particular deck box was actually a design, or at least it was an idea come up by somebody that actually contacted me through email, and we were actually able to create a different one for them. And by this, I was so impressed with the idea, I decided to kind of develop it and revamp the idea a little bit. Inside there's a matrix of slats that actually hold the individual decks in place, and I'm actually very proud of this particular design. Okay, this is my next design. This next design is something that I'm incredibly proud of. This particular design is called the Switchblade. I call it the Switchblade because it gives you absolute instant access to your cards, much like a Switchblade knife gives you instant access to any sort of blade. This particular deck box has taken me a long time to develop, and I'm extremely proud of it. And if you look at it, it looks like any other box. It doesn't look like there's anything special about it. It has a number of sides, but like most of my deck boxes, it's again very difficult to figure out, well, how do you open it? This box doesn't have a top where it slides off or pulls apart. This box, you simply open the sides, you pull away on the sides, and it gives you instant access to 4 separate decks of cards. And I'll do it real fast for you and slow it down, but what you do is you grab hold of the sides and you pull out, and it gives you access to your 4 decks of cards. This is taking, again, like I said, this is taking me a long time to develop. I'll put it back nice and slow so you can see this. There it goes, closed. And as you open it, it reveals your, of course, 4 decks of cards. Now, it has a number of other different things that make this box actually pretty special. It has recesses cut into the entire circumference of the box itself, so it makes it actually fairly easy to pull out any particular deck of cards that you want. You just go ahead and you pull it out, you put your finger where the recess is, and you can of course have instant access to your decks of cards just like that. The other thing that makes this of course special is that it actually has a adjusting knob on the bottom. Some people like different amounts of tensions based off of the based off of what their preference is. That's one of the questions I normally get with the boxes that we pull apart, is that some people like them a little tighter, some people think they're too tight. With this design, you can make that adjustment for yourself. If it's not tight enough, you take a screwdriver and you tighten the screw on the bottom. If you think it, of course, is too tight, you of course can back off on that, and you can adjust it throughout the life of the box and however you of course see fit. Now, this particular box, along with my other designs, can be customized to no end. I'm going to show you another example of that right now. This is another switchblade. Okay, this particular switchblade, as you can see, is made of different types of wood. It has, of course, an inlay, of course, that lead in the top. It has decorative walnut spines on the bottom. It works exactly the same like the other one, and you can see there's actually a different, the opposite colored wood I've used, of course, for the bottoms of the boxes. All these things are things that you can, of course, add to your custom order if that's, of course, what you like. But the other thing that that isn't pictured right here that we've also now offered is something called flocking. Now, I've had a lot of people contact me and have worried about the wooden boxes going ahead and scratching their sleeves because it's wood, even though they're playing very smooth, and I've never had that experience. Some people have thousands of dollars stuck in magic cards. One of the things that we offer is, of course, called flocking. Everybody's familiar with it, you just don't know it's called flocking. Flocking is what you normally find on the inside of a jewelry box. The process is pretty basic. A colored adhesive is painted to the inside surfaces of the box that you would have, and then you actually take suede fibers and kind of like a gun-like thing, and you actually blow the suede fibers onto the adhesive. When it dries, it leaves a very, very soft, almost velvety-like finish to the inside of your box. So that's another option that you can, of course, customize any box that I make with. Either way, this is the Switchblade, and I couldn't be more proud of it, and I hope you guys can also experience Switchblade at some point. One of the questions I've been getting a lot recently is people, of course, ask me, well, these things are made of wood, and how much stronger are they than your average plastic deck box that you get from a hobby store? And I always knew that, a wooden deck box like this was going to be stronger, but I actually didn't have any data to back up exactly how much stronger that they were. So what I ended up doing was developing a test. I wanted to figure out for myself exactly how much better that these particular boxes were. So what I did was I actually made a few boxes made of maple, okay, and for just color purposes and just ease of seeing on camera, I actually dyed them different multi-colors. So when you see the boxes on camera, they're actually made of just average domesticated maple, nothing that's special. But what I did was, my goal was to get a regular bathroom scale like this, place a box on the top, and then use a hydraulic press. And as the hydraulic press just pushes down, the, of course, numbers on the scale will go up. Now, if I, of course, videotape this, and I could figure out at the exact moment that the box would go ahead and break, and I knew exactly how many pounds of force it would take a unit to break that particular box. Well, I did the same thing with a plastic box, and I did this, same thing obviously with a wooden box. And here's the results from the plastic box. I was actually quite surprised by the result. If you were able to see on your computer there, the plastic box withstained about 40 pounds. And 40 pounds is actually, it's not bad. But I was very, very curious, of course, how the maple boxes would do also. And here's that video.
And how are we going to toss it, Daddy?
This press is going to crush it, Lincoln.
By just doing that, Daddy?
Lincoln, hold on. Lincoln, yep. 200 pounds. Or over 300 pounds.
I was actually quite shocked by the results. It actually maxed out the scale of 320 pounds and still did not break the box. I actually was totally unsatisfied with the results. I had to figure out at what point, or to demonstrate somehow how strong these particular boxes was. So I started thinking, what is the biggest thing I could possibly put on the top of these boxes and have it hold where it could easily demonstrate how much better or how much stronger these particular boxes are than your average plastic deck box. So what I decided to do was get my Honda Accord and 4 of these boxes and place one underneath each tire and see if I could actually jack the car up and see if the 4 boxes could sustain the weight of the 2,800 pound Honda Accord. And here's the video.
It's so nice having the neighbors that,
It is, it's really nice.
and how you guys in West Bend, how it was just.
Again, I was very, very surprised by the result. These 4 boxes were able to sustain the weight of the car itself. The reason that these were strong is not because of the amount of material that's used. It's depending, of course, on how they're constructed. I construct them minimalistically to provide the maximum amount of strength, but without being too, of course, bulky. Now, I know what many of you are thinking out there. What he did was he just put a chunk of 2x4 inside the box, and that was able to support the weight of the car. I'm telling you, you don't have to believe me, these boxes were completely empty when they were placed underneath the tires of the car. For my calculations, these things can at least hold 700-800 pounds of weight on the top of them without breaking. Not too many people can say that they can park a car on their deck box. Now, these are more expensive than your average plastic box. These are about 3 times as expensive as your plastic box. But that 3 times the expense from plastic box is going to yield you 20 times the strength. It's also way more than 20 times more beautiful than, of course, those ugly plastic boxes. Now, I'm not going to tell you these things are indestructible. They can clearly break. In fact, if you give a 4-year-old a hammer, this is what happens.
Ready?
Video.
Hit the top. Go. Hit it. Break it.
Come on, Lincoln! Have it!
Like I said, these boxes clearly aren't indestructible. My kid can seriously swing a hammer, and as you can see from the video, he hit it pretty hard before it broke. Regardless, I just want to thank everybody for their support. In the past year that we've, of course, been selling these boxes, we've sold over 300 boxes, and within that amount of time, we've done numerous custom boxes that I'll show you at the end of this video, and that I'm incredibly, incredibly proud of. We've had thousands of hits on our first video. I assume there'll be even more hits on this video. Again, thank you very much for anything. As always, please email me with any of your questions, and don't forget to like us on Facebook.
There you go.
And then flash at the other one. Now that's still.
Of the end of the world, but it's feeling just like every other morning before. Now I wonder what my life is gonna mean if it's gone. The cars are moving like a half a mile an hour, and I started staring at the passengers and waving goodbye. Can you tell me what was ever really special about me all this time? But I believe the world is burning to the ground. Oh well, I guess we're gonna find out. Let's see how far we've come. Let's see how far we've come. Well, I believe it all is coming to an end. Oh well, I guess we're gonna pretend. Let's see how far we've come. Let's see how far we've come. We could turn 10 o'clock, but I don't really know. And I can't remember caring for an hour or so. Started crying and I couldn't stop myself. I started running, but there's nowhere